hermit crab. You know, that used to be a favorite gift of people that loved, they'd go to the beach and they come back with a little plastic case and a hermit crab. So, who out there has a hermit crab? Because they're really fun to watch and they're really cool. So, we're going to learn all about a house for hermit crab. And if you're watching, oops, I forgot something. I want to open up the Facebook page in case I miss your comments. But if you're watching with a little one, please tell me their name so I can say hello. And if you're watching on Pumped Up Parenting of Facebook, hi. If you're watching here on Haps, happy to see you all. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and that little bell so you know when I go live, and give me a thumbs up if you're loving the broadcast. Hi, Natalie. How are you? Okay. I think I've got things set up now. All right. So let's start reading this. This is by Carle, who is a beloved children's author, and I'm sure you have at least one of his books at home. So this is for my son Ralph, and I'm going to read this because it's a little poem about a hermit crab. Hermit crabs live on the ocean floor. Their skin is hard except for the abdomen, which is soft. To protect this soft spot, the hermit crab, it's not a poem actually, borrows a shell and makes this its house. Then only its face, feet, and claws stick out from the shell. That way it can see, walk, and catch its food. When a hermit crab is threatened, it withdraws into its shell until the danger has passed. And now let's read our story. Time to move, said Hermit Crab one day in January. I've grown too big for this little shell. He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the ocean floor. But it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. What if a big fish comes along and attacks me? He thought. I must find a new house soon. See, this is the soft part of his little body that he has to protect in the shell. Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. It felt just right. But it looked so plain, thought Hermit Crab. What do you think? Do you think the shell looks plain? In March, Hermit Crab met some sea enemies. Anemones. That's how you say that word. Anemones, sorry. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. How beautiful you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and live in my house? It is so plain. It needs you. I'll come, whispered a small sea anemone. That is a hard word to say. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. Pretty cool. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor. How handsome you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to decorate my house? I would, signaled the little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. How pretty you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful? I would, creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. He's doing a good job decorating, isn't he? In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. How tidy and hard-working you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to come and help clean my house? I would, offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. How fierce you look, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to protect my house? I would, answered a spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. He said he got them for protection, so he would feel safe. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. It's so dark in here, thought Hermit Crab. How dim it is, murmured the sea anemone. I'm just challenged with that word. How gloomy it is, whispered the starfish. How murky it is, complained the coral. I can't see, said the snail. It's like nighttime, cried the sea urchin. Look how dark the seaweed is. In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. How bright you are, said Hermit Crab. Would one of you be willing to light up our house? I would, replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. It's lighting things up. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. How sturdy you are, said Hermit Crab. Would you mind if I rearranged you? Not at all, answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. Now my house is perfect, cheered Hermit Crab. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a bit too small. Little by little over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon he would have to find another bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. They have been so good to me, thought Hermit Crab. They are like a family. How can I ever leave them? In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. I have outgrown my shell, she said. Would you know a place for me? I have outgrown my house too, answered Hermit Crab. I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends. I promise, said the little crab. The little crab's getting a new home, and his friends are getting a new friend. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out, and the little crab moved in. Couldn't stay in that little shell forever, said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell. It looked, well, a little plain, but sponges, he thought, barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. And he lived happily ever after. So that is all about A House for Hermit Crab. And I hope you enjoyed this story as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. Eric Carle just writes wonderful, wonderful books. So let's all take a little time to start relaxing. Hold up a finger and everyone breathe along with me. Can you smell the flower? And blow out the candles. Smell the flower. Blow out the candles. Smell the flower. Blow out the candles. One more. Smell the flower and blow out the candles. So excited you were here with me tonight for story time. I go live with stories every Monday night at 7 p.m. And my sister Maddie goes live on Wednesday nights in our Pumped Up Parenting group on Facebook. Hi, Tasha. Thanks for coming in and listening. I appreciate it. And tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will set a reminder after we're done this broadcast. I'll be going live all about ways to make your toddler or older child get ready for a new baby. So if you're expecting a new baby, it's time to listen in because this is super important. You have to prepare that older child the right way so that they get involved and they're not shocked. It's not just about reading stories about new babies. It goes a lot deeper. So join me tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and let's find out how to do it the right way, the way that you benefit all your older kids. All right, guys, have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Have a nice night. I'll see you in the morning and around the web. And remember, if you have any questions at all, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. Just go to talkwithcelia.com and set up a time to talk. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks, everyone.